Hey everyone, welcome back to 215 Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Andrew. Next across from me is Tyler.
What's going on, everyone?
Finally back in the studio again. No more sickness, no more car accidents, no more nothing.
No more traffic.
No more traffic.
No more cars on fire on in the middle of the road.
But besides that, we got a Eagle schedule to cover today.
And they got a bit of a tough schedule, I would say.
It is definitely, like, I would say it's easier than last year. It's supposed to be easier by the winning percentage, but
right.
It is still a tough schedule. I mean, we'll walk you through the whole schedule.
You got a couple of tough stretches in here.
Couple of tough stretches. See which games the Eagles should win. Give you the win totals. And let's just get started with week one, honestly.
Yeah, give you the W's and L's.
Week one against the Commanders at home at 4:25. So,
I mean, that's a game that I'm thinking that they're going to win.
They should win that game.
I guess you never know.
Washington's always a threat.
Washington's got Jaden Daniels, and as much as, we want to sit here and say the Eagles are the better team, when you have a quarterback like Jaden Daniels that's capable of basically dragging his team forward through wins, you can never count them out. So I don't want to sit here and say like 100%. Like I definitely feel better that they're going to beat the Titans week 2 than they're going to beat the Commanders
week 2
1.
is at Tennessee. They should easily win that game.
Yeah.
I mean, Tennessee's...
If they don't win that game, with how bad Tennessee was last year and how they really haven't improved, I feel like this season, like they should
be able to beat Tennessee easily.
Yeah, that should be an easy. Mm-hmm. Hopefully, it's not like a trap look ahead game. I know that they have the Bears the next following week, so they might be looking ahead.
Week 3's at the Bears, and
but
the Bears are always going to be a tough opponent now.
And it's in Chicago.
In Chicago. It's Monday night, and the Eagles are going to have to change their game plan against the Bears because remember last time on Black Friday, they freaking ran all over them. They had 2 other guys rush for over 100 yards. They just looked silly on Black Friday.
They did. They looked absolutely awful.
And I mean, the Bears are still going to be good. They're still going to be one of the premier teams now in the NFC, but that's probably the first real test that the Eagles have, week 3.
Yeah, it's going to be week 3.
Mm-hmm. All right, then week 4 is going to be another tough test against the Rams at home.
Luckily, that game will be at home.
I mean, the Eagles have played well against the Rams.
They have.
But this is another good team.
Yep.
They have
always close games whenever they play
always
the Rams.
Close games. Matthew Stafford's, back in another prime, it feels like. You have Puka Nacua and Devonta Adams, who are probably one of the best wide receiver duos in the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
You got
easily
a really good defense to go along with it, so that's going to be another challenge for the Eagles. And then week 5, they're going to go to London, which we already knew about this, but...
Surprise, surprise, they're playing the Jaguars.
Playing the Jaguars, huh?
Playing the Jaguars.
And I mean, I feel
London.
like they should still win this game, but the Jags are also another playoff team. But plus, they did lose some guys in the offseason.
International games are tough to really gauge, I feel like. I mean, this is also going to be... I believe this is the second week that the Jags are going to be in London. So they're going to have to deal with like the travel that the Eagles will be having to deal with.
They're not going to have to deal with that jet lag.
Yeah,
I'd assume the Eagles might honestly just practice in London so they get acclimated to the time zones and stuff there.
They could, but typically, I mean, it's not like they're going to leave any earlier than like Thursday, I would anticipate. Because
I remember I think it was last season, they went and they practiced in Tampa for their game against Tampa.
Like a day early, right?
But they practiced in Tampa instead of practicing in Philadelphia because it was supposed to be so hot, they wanted to get acclimated to the temperature.
Right, so they could potentially go over and have like a practice. Maybe they'll go over a day earlier than they normally would. Instead of going on Thursday, maybe they go on Wednesday. have a full thing of practice on Thursday and then a walkthrough on Friday. But one of the things that I find really interesting is that even though the Jaguars have played a lot in London, they're still only 7-7 lifetime over there. So it's not like they have a very distinguishable advantage by playing over there, even though they play over there every year. And last year they went 1-1 over there. Now, they did win the second game as opposed to winning the first game. So maybe that's something that the Eagles could be a little jet lagged. Jaguars a bit fresher. But I would still expect the Jaguars to not have the firepower to be able to keep up with the Eagles, especially with this new offense. We're all anticipating is going to be much better than last year. Right?
Yeah.
Because it can't really get much worse. So,
no, it really can't.
I'm still expecting them to win that game,
okay,
even though it might be a little bit of a wonky win. I feel like a non-traditional.
Yeah, the Eagles haven't played
they win
overseas really in a while.
I mean, they played in Sao Paulo,
in
that's
Brazil, but that's really not overseas. That's just
right.
a trip down South America.
Right,
I'm
it's talking
a lot of
travel.
Europe or
It's not adjusting
Australia,
to
whatever.
A 6-hour time zone.
Yeah, exactly. I think Brazil is only 1 hour ahead or something like that.
Yeah, it's not a huge time jump where, you go over to London from Philadelphia. I think it's there's 6 hours.
It's like a 5-hour difference.
That. So that's a pretty big time jump for people to.
That's why the game's on at 9:30 in the morning.
Yeah. So one thing I also noticed with this schedule before we get into, I don't think they have a single week where they play at the same time that they did the following week. They don't have a single Sunday you played at 1, guess what? Next Sunday you also play at 1. Every single start time and every single day is different.
It's always different. I mean, there's some games that are 4:25 or whatever, 4 o'clocks back to back, but there's no I mean, I feel like it's been known now that the Eagles really don't play as much 1 o'clock games as they used to.
No, but it is crazy when you sit here and see
1 o'clock games people have been asking for. Unless you were to count the Rams at 1 o'clock and then the Jaguars, which would technically be 1 o'clock in London, and then
that would be
next
1
week
o'clock in
against
London.
the next week 6 against the Panthers would be 1 o'clock. So I mean, if you were to really take it into
if you want to be technical about it,
yeah, that's 3 straight 1 o'clock games.
Okay,
but if you're looking at it at an East Coast standpoint, they're not 1 o'clock.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Sunday 4 o'clock. Well, Sunday 4:25. Sunday 1. Monday night. Sunday 1. Yep. Sunday 9:30, Sunday 1, Monday night, Sunday night.
Yeah, so that week 6 was against Carolina at 1. Week 7 is against Dallas at 8 on Monday night.
And hopefully that should be another. But I don't know. I feel like this might be a game that I could see them potentially losing to the Cowboys. And if they don't lose to the Cowboys, I could potentially see them losing to the Panthers the following week. Coming back from, London, you might be a little lagged. You don't have the bye week in between to make it easier. You're coming off of 2 pretty, I would say, important games in the early part of the season with the Bears and the Rams. So I wouldn't be surprised if they got upset by the Panthers or lost to the Cowboys. I don't think that they're going to go through week 6 and 7 both and get wins. Just by the scheduling, I feel like they're gonna get a loss at one of those 2 games.
Yeah, and week 8 is Sunday night at Washington. It's a second primetime game in a row, and then week 9 is completing the trio of NFC East opponents back to back to back, playing the Giants at 1 o'clock at home, and then week 10 you finally hit the bye.
Now we all know the Eagles are really, really good coming off the bye, and another thing that I heard initially, I think during draft announcement, was I think the Eagles play the most amount of teams coming off of byes this season.
Yeah, because they're playing the Panthers, who are actually coming off a week 5 bye, coming out of London.
Which that also kind of
takes
makes
into
me
effect.
feel like they might not win that game.
You're coming into a fully rested Carolina team against the Eagles, who are
going to be coming
Coming
off
off
of
the
4
jet
straight
lagged.
weeks, jet
Yeah.
lag, being in London, having 2 big games the weeks before.
Mhm.
So they might be a little emotionally spent
Yeah,
as
I feel
well.
like week 3 to 8 is probably the roughest stretch of the schedule, which is going to be hard because I don't feel like you can afford to lose a lot of these games.
No. So if you want to be a top 2 seed, you
Yeah.
can't afford to lose many of these games. And
Can't afford to lose like 2 of these games.
well, usually if you lose 2, you're going to be a 1 seed. Because most times teams don't end up going the entire
Yeah.
season, only losing 1 game. But it's when you start to get to like 4 losses where it's like, okay, now the 1 seed is kind of really in question.
Yeah, unless the rest of the NFC is just as bad.
Right. Like the past couple of years, the people that have won the NFC have been what, like 13-4 or 14 and like 14
Yeah, 13 and 3, 15 and 2, I think it was.
Yeah.
So
My math was a little off there.
Eagles
But-
got it at 14 and 3.
Yeah, so you're going to need to have a type of season like that where you're only losing 3, maximum 4 games if you're going to get to the 1 seed. But
After the bye is
the Steelers
at home against the Steelers,
we all know how good the Eagles are coming off byes,
Yep.
so that should definitely be a win for them.
and then they'll go to Dallas on Thanksgiving, which, they're not really good in Dallas.
Plus, it's Thanksgiving. Dallas usually plays very well on Thanksgiving, especially Dak. He usually has pretty good games on Thanksgiving, I usually want to say. I feel like a lot of those games end up being high-scoring games because Dallas kind of just puts the pedal to the metal on those games for some reason. Especially the past couple of years, I feel like every time I've seen Dallas play on Thanksgiving, it's been final scores of like 38-something or like... So it's going to be a high-scoring
They play good on
game.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And then coming off that Dallas, you have 2 pretty easy games, I would say. You go to Arizona, which you should be able to easily beat, and then you go to Indianapolis, which another team that could be a bit of a challenge, but you should be able to take care of those and get two wins from week 13 and 14.
Yeah, the fact that they're at home against the Colts makes me feel like they're definitely going to win that game. But going out on the road to Arizona, not entirely sure, especially because I have no idea who's going to be starting for the Cardinals.
Yeah, I
that
feel like they
week.
should still win against Arizona.
Like,
with the
I don't know if it's going to be Jacoby Brissett. I don't know if it's going to be Carson Beck who's starting at that point. Who knows if Carson
it's
Beck's
like-
going to be any good by the time he does.
Because if it's like
end
week
up
13
starting.
and they're week 13 and they're out of the playoffs, they might just say, you know what, hey, get in there so we can see how we look, and maybe we don't have to go tank for a quarterback.
Right, but if they're 6-7 or something like that,
Yeah.
or they're like 5-8 or something, they might still be seriously playing for either a wild card spot, or Carson Beck is still playing to like try to prove himself as the starter for next season. So I wouldn't count the Cardinals out in that game, especially because they are able to score a lot of points. And when you have a team that's able to score a lot of points at home, when they've got a young rookie quarterback, we saw what Jackson Dart did last year when it was up there in MetLife to the Eagles defense. So I just don't want to rule, like, that could be a potential loss right there.
Yeah.
I could
Not
see
going to
them
say
losing
nothing,
that
but
game.
it should be an easy win.
It should be an easy win, but also should have that Giants game,
Yeah.
which
So
it was not.
that kicks off the start against 3 consecutive home games. The Colts, like we already said, and then 2 really tough ones late into the year with the Seahawks and the Texans on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Because they're going to play the Seahawks on 19th December, and then you go play the Texans on Christmas Eve. You're only playing on 4 days rest.
Yeah, and not only are you only playing on 4 days rest, you're playing on 4 days rest against 2 teams that...
You're playing 4 days rest who has one of the best offenses in the NFL, and then Texans who has one of the best defenses in the NFL.
And also don't forget how good the Seahawks defense played the entire postseason of last season.
Yeah.
Because their defense literally gave up, I think, like a total of 3 touchdowns in 3 games.
So I could really see like 2 losses back-to-back from those 2 games.
And then going out to
San Francisco.
49ers
It's,
isn't it any
it's not
easier.
going to be any easier as well.
Now, who knows who's still going to be healthy and walking and not on crutches for the 49ers at that point of the season, because they seem to always just have like a whole like 17 members of their team on injury
They
reserve.
also have a ton of injuries, I swear.
Yeah, and that could be a factor.
But once again, I really
know?
think that's another tough game that the Eagles might have to pull out if they're fighting for, seeding at that time. And then Week 18 is against the Giants in MetLife.
Yeah, and that obviously is going to be flexed into whatever, depending upon who's
time zone or whatever.
records and if the Eagles are even going to be playing for anything. Because they might not, if they already have the 1 seed or the 2 seed locked up,
they might just
throw Tanner McKee out there.
Exactly, make it a 1 o'clock game or something.
Right. So
I mean, so that's the schedule. I mean, it's hard, but we've seen how hard the Eagles' schedule was last year, and they were able to pull out some clutch wins.
mhm.
Granted, they weren't the best wins, but
And they did not perform up to our standards last year, and they still won.
Offensively wise, they still won 11 games.
Right, 11 games. So
With the
what are you going with?
offensive woes,
Your totals this year.
12-5. They're going to lose to Seattle, Houston, San Francisco. They're going to lose on Thanksgiving, unfortunately. And they're going to lose to Chicago.
Okay. So I got them actually a win higher. I got them at 13.
Turn at 13-4? Okay.
I got them losing to the Bears week 3 just because I really don't see them coming into week 5 at London being 4-0. I find that really, really hard to do, especially just to win the first 4 games, especially with new offensive coordinator, new offense in general.
Yeah, new offense pretty much.
There's no way that I see them realistically, with my realism glasses on, going into week 5 being 4-0. There's too many things. Maybe if you had so much carryover from last year and the offense was actually good last year, I would sit here and feel confident in saying they're going to be 4-0 by that point.
I mean, the offense cost them probably 2 or 3 wins that
100%.
season last year.
So I'm going to go with 13-4. My losses are the same with the Bears. I do have them losing to the Panthers the week coming back from London. I have them also losing to the Cowboys on Thursday Night Football in the Thanksgiving game. And then they're going to lose one of those last 3 tough games, either whether that's to the 49ers, whether that's to the Texans, or the Seahawks. I'm thinking personally it's to the Texans.
I'm surprised you didn't say it was the Seahawks.
I don't necessarily think so, just because Seahawks coming out here to Philadelphia, that travel's not easy going all the way across the country.
Yeah.
And Seahawks traditionally do not play well when they go West Coast to East Coast. Even when they went West Coast to East Coast to play Carolina last year, they won by a field goal. Carolina was a playoff team, but not at the time when they played them in Carolina.
You also Mr. Bias, so...
No, that's one thing that I am not. I am not a biased
You're not biased,
person.
yeah.
I try to be realistic. So,
which is good. You can't say here, the Eagles are going to go 17-0, because obviously that's not going to happen.
That's why I'm sitting here being like, there's no way by week 5 they're going to go in 4-0. I could see them realistically winning 4 games against those teams.
But not in a row.
I don't think they're going to win all 4 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
So, one of those games I think they're losing, and I think it's the same as you. I think they lose the Bears game.
Yeah, even if they still go into London 3-1,
I think everyone would be happy with them going to London 3-1.
Mm-hmm.
As long as they don't go to London at 2-2, I feel like everyone will be pretty
anything lower than anything lower than 3-1.
Because you also have no idea what's going to happen in that London game.
Yeah.
Those types of games where you go to Europe and you're playing in either London or Germany. I have no idea what week 1's going to be like when they open up in Australia.
Yeah, they're playing in Australia. I know they're playing. The first game is against the Seahawks on Wednesday night.
Yeah. But there is a week 1 game in Australia though.
Yeah, that's the Thursday.
Yeah. So I have no idea. Who knows what the hell that game is going to look like? I mean, players are on a flight for 27 hours to get there? So
going all the way to Australia, they probably have to go. They're probably going at least a week in advance.
Yeah, you would have to think they've got to go at least 3 or 4 days earlier than they normally would, which is probably why they have to make going to Australia week 1, because there's no way they'd be able to send a team to Australia in the middle of the season.
No, you said unless you gave them like a bye week after
or a bye week before.
Yeah.
I feel like it would have to be bye week before, right?
I don't know. I feel like it'd have to be after because if you're gonna fly,
yeah, the travel back. I don't know.
You're gonna travel all the way that back and play in the football game.
Yeah, I feel bad for those. Who is it that plays in Australia?
It's the Rams and 49ers.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like both of those teams are probably going to end up losing week 2.
I don't know.
Because they're going to have
that
a
jet
whole
lag
day and a couple hours of travel back.
Mm-hmm.
Then they got to practice. They got to get reacclimated to the time.
At least they're both on the West Coast, which makes it easy to get reacclimated.
Yeah.
It's not like if it was the Rams and the Steelers. The Steelers got to go back.
Steelers get fucked in that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, shit.
That'd be terrible for the league.
But I'm still interested to see, like, is there going to be any offense that game? Is there going to be so much offense because the defense doesn't show up? Like, you got to think one of both sides of the ball doesn't show up for that game after a 27-hour flight, right?
I mean, they have to. There's no way they don't.
Like, so that'll be interesting to see. And I wonder if they'll continue it going forward, like next season and all that, because if it goes like pretty poorly and both teams don't play well, I don't know if the NFL will go back to Australia anytime over the next couple of seasons.
Yeah, it's just like a learning thing they do.
So,
because if they don't say if the Brazil game went bad, they're not gonna go back to Brazil. But they played in Brazil twice already, so.
And both games in Sao Paulo were both pretty good.
Yeah, and they're gonna do it again this year with the Cowboys.
And I think the elevation definitely helps with that. I wonder if the elevation of Australia is going to play anything into it. Because isn't Australia like notoriously below sea level?
I don't know what it's going to be like in there.
So like, I wonder what that does to you, being below sea level. Do you does that do anything to you athletically? Know. Like, does that hinder you in any way?
Like, if the elevation in Australia is 330 meters, so 1,080 feet.
Is that the highest point?
So,
or
the highest peak reaches 7,000 feet, but that's in the Australian Alps.
They have They have an Alps?
Apparently they do. An active volcano. Active volcano is the highest peak on Australian territory at 9,006 feet. But if you're playing at 1,080 feet above sea level, like imagine trying to play baseball in that.
Well, that's 1,000 feet above isn't too much different than Denver, is it?
Denver's 5,280. That's 4,000.
Oh, yeah. So that
Denver's the highest in, I think, the country.
Yeah.
For sports or whatever.
Oh, yeah, 100%. There's nothing else that's that high up that's a sports town anywhere.
Yeah.
Close to the United States.
Australia, though, is the flattest continent. So you try to play football or baseball, it ain't going nowhere.
I just wonder if that's going to play into anything at all. But, yeah, it'll be interesting to see, what it's like playing in Australia.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is there going to be a kangaroo in the stands?
The Eagles won't have to deal with that, so.
And then you want to move on to the Phillies?
Yeah.
So, Phillies have actually been playing fantastic.
They've been playing fantastic, yeah. They're won
one of the best teams in baseball right now.
They've won 6 consecutive series.
Which is something that I guess we all maybe expected with the quality of teams that they were playing over those 6 series. It's not really like they were playing anyone too good. But still.
But I mean,
you can only play who's in front of you.
Who they played though? Giants, Marlins, Red Sox, Athletics, Rockies, and Pirates.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Athletics have shown that they're pretty good. They've been better than last year. Same with the Pirates.
Yeah.
The Red Sox and Giants have really been slacking off. The Marlins have been the Marlins, and the Rockies have been, the Rockies. But
yeah. I mean, hey, one thing though, I think the Rockies have already. I think it said that they have already eclipsed their win total by last year at this point in the season by, I think, 6 games or 7 games.
Yeah, the Rockies they've been a better team than they have been last year. But
I think at this point last year, they only had 9 wins or something like that. They were awful last year. So they're at least not as bad this year as they were last year. But I mean, that first game in the Pirates series coming back and winning that game in extra innings, that was I don't want to say like an eye opener, but that was something where I looked at and I was like, okay, I can actually feel really confident in a win like that, even though it's against, a lesser team like the Pirates, because they were down 6-1.
But they were able to come back. They were down
Right.
6-0 after the third inning.
And then able to come back.
They pulled all the
tie
way
it,
back
and
came
win.
back in the ninth inning. So
the fact that, the team showed some fight, Kyle Schwarber clawed him back into it, which who knows how many times that's going to happen over
yeah,
the
because
season.
the dude's been a beast all season. Unbelievable.
20
from
home
him.
runs right now. Who knows if he would have hit 21 if he was in the lineup yesterday.
Yeah.
But
he's lucky he has a cold.
like what he is doing.
I mean, he's easily the best hitter in all of baseball right now.
Absolutely insane.
When pitchers are scared to throw at him. He's actually on a home run pace to surpass Barry Bonds.
I think on the Phillies post game after the game where he hit the 2 to get to 20, I think Michael Barkamp said if he keeps his pace right now, he's on pace to hit like 74.
Like, that's insane. That's more than Bonds. And then
there's no way he's gonna hit 74.
You're gonna have people. Well, wait. Let me say this again. So you're gonna have pitchers later in the year scared to throw at him if he's trying to chase a home run record, because they don't want to be that pitcher that's like, oh shit, I'm
gives it up.
I'm gonna give the 70th home run to Kyle Schwarber.
But also, you got Harper. That is
Harper's
hitting
been
fantastic.
One
right
of the
behind
best
him as well.
Yeah, I mean, they've probably been one of the best two and three hitters in baseball.
So if you got
currently, Harper's hitting really well.
And do you really want? Theoretically, yeah, you could walk both of them, but if you walked both of them, plus the fact Trey Turner got on first,
yeah, the base is loaded,
and then you got bases loaded for either Adolis Garcia, which is a guy that can definitely knock the ball out of the ballpark, Alec Boehm, who excels in bases loaded situations,
hitting the ball well,
or at this moment, Brandon Marsh, who just constantly gets hits. So either way, you're going to be kind of forced to try to make pitches.
So I feel like
Schwarber and Harper.
It's been the first time in a while that the whole lineup is hitting.
Yeah.
Maybe besides like Turner, who's having a little bit of a struggle.
Mm-hmm.
But you have Schwarber and Harper, obviously. Marsh is still killing it.
Yep.
Boehm's breaking out of a slump with I think 9-game hitting streak. Bryson Stott is hitting the ball hard as well. He hit the game-winning home run Monday night.
He's been hitting the ball. He's been playing fantastic ever since they went to Miami, man.
Yeah, he's been playing fantastic.
He's got 10 extra base hits and 18 RBIs so far through the month of May. So he's got basically as many RBIs in as many games that they've played in May.
Yep.
Because it's May 19th.
May 19th, and he has 18 RBIs.
Yeah.
Or he's averaging an RBI per day.
Which is kind of insane.
That is funny.
That's pretty good stretch that he's been on right there. And it's not just been people at the plate either. It's been not just the starting rotation, the bullpen, like pitching all across the board for the
whole team. The whole team is clicking, but the one main benefactor probably has to be the starting rotation.
100%.
With Zach Wheeler, basically him like revitalizing the rotation ever since he returned.
Well, think about it. You got Wheeler and you subtracted Taijuan Walker. That is
so you're already
a huge upgrade.
A huge upgrade, even if you had to eat $15 million for it.
100%.
You're still getting a huge upgrade back in Wheeler.
And by eating those $15 million, Zach Wheeler is probably going to make that money back in like WAR standards in like a month.
Yeah, most likely.
WAR standards is what? It's like each win is worth $10 million or something like that. When it comes to like the WAR breakdown.
And if he makes, if he has a 4-WAR season, $40 million. Right there.
So you just made back the money that you spent on getting rid of Taijuan
and then you
Walker.
have
like by the All-Star break, he might have a 1.5 WAR.
Yeah.
So he might have already paid off Taijuan's debt by the freaking All-Star break.
Probably will have.
So
by far the best pitcher on the roster once again is easily Christopher Sanchez. Everyone knows that.
Outdueled
Paul Skeens. No, actually, no, that was Zach Wheeler who did that.
Oh, yes, that was Wheeler
but
that did that.
Christopher Sanchez still threw a complete game shutout.
Yes,
he's riding a 29 and 2/3 scoreless inning streak. So
Didn't he do it on only like 96 pitches?
Yeah,
or
so
something like that?
He just needs one more out, and they'll have a 30 inning scoreless streak.
Which he does have the number one scoreless inning streak in baseball right now, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Because I know the guy from Atlanta, Iglesias, has got like
who else has? Iglesias has 26. This guy, Christopher Sanchez is 29.
Because I know he was up there too, but yeah, the fact that he's gone basically 3 full games without allowing a run he's gone 3 full games without allowing a run,
which is crazy.
Like, that is absolutely insane. And if he's able to continue to go out there and, like, who knows how long he can keep the scoreless streak going.
Paul Skeens had a 20-inning scoreless streak that was broken by, guess who? The Phillies.
Yeah.
So,
and who would have thought that with the Phillies, how they would have started the year, that if I would have told you 2 weeks ago that they would go into Pittsburgh and knock Paul Skeens out by the 5th inning.
Knock Paul Skeens out by the 5th inning with 5 runs or whatever.
You would have said, dude, are you smoking crack?
You're crazy.
Like, you would have been like, what drugs are you on right now? What's making you think
with the way the offense was playing within the first 30 games, you would have probably thought Skeens would have thrown a no-hitter.
Yeah. And speaking of no-hitters, how freaking crazy was that game, I think 2 days ago, where the no-hitter was broken up on, the second to last hitter of the game?
It was last night.
It was last night.
With the Athletics and Angels, where the dude was in the 9th inning, and he gave up a leadoff single, and then the next batter, he gives up a 2-run home run. He's like, keep him in the game. I'm like, oh, that's terrible.
Oh, my goodness. Like, that's... I just had to...
I mean, good for the pitcher, but, like, damn, that's just so unfortunate.
Dude, that would be so disheartening. Like, you give up the no-hitter, and you're like, all right, I just got to get one more out. And then, boom, home run. And you're like, you fucking kidding me?
I mean, at least the bullpen's happy knowing that they got a free day of rest.
But, like, oh, man, I feel for that guy. Who was it that was even pitching?
It was someone on the Athletics.
Well, yeah, I know, but, it was
here we go.
Some no-name, right? Or maybe not a no-name, but, like, some young kid.
T.T. Jin.
Yeah, who is that?
Some guy that pitches for the Athletics.
Exactly.
He pitched 8 innings against the Phillies and had 1 run and 8 strikeouts, so...
Hey, there we go. So, is he a young guy?
I mean, his outings look really good, honestly. 26, but...
Weird.
8 innings, 6 innings, no runs, 8 innings, 1 run. Like,
never heard of him before.
I mean, these last 3 outings against him have been really good.
Interesting. So, who knows? Maybe that's a pitcher on the rise.
Took a no-hitter into the 9th inning, like...
And then, what about the Mets game yesterday, too? That game was crazy.
Yeah, that game, I was... I was like, oh, it's the 11th inning, whatever. And I was thinking I was scrolling on YouTube or something, and I saw my favorite Mets fan was live streaming, and I was like, oh, of course he is. And I clicked on the first thing. I clicked on it first, and then, I see he's biting his necklace, singing a song, and I was like, dude, the game's not even over yet. They scored 12 runs in the 10th. They scored 10 11th. Runs in the 12th inning.
Oh yeah, the 12th inning. Yeah, 10 in the 12th. And I remember I looked at my phone, and I think I saw that the Mets were down 6-0 at one point in that game.
Oh Jesus!
And then
I'm not paying attention to the Mets, so
and then,
I don't know.
Later on, I looked on ESPN because I was checking, I think, the hockey stats from the hockey, or no, the basketball stats that were on from last night, and I saw that it was 6-6, and I was like, oh shit, Mets came back. And then I put the phone down, checked back in maybe an hour or two, and saw that they won freaking 12-6, or no, what was this final score? 18-6.
It's 16-7.
Yeah, 16-7, and I was like, "What the fuck happened?"
So you have the Giants got, I guess, 2 2-point conversions, and the Commanders got a field goal.
I was like, "Dude, what the hell happened in this game?" It was 6-0, then it was 6-6, and now it's 17
to 6.
7.
Like what?
What the fuck is going on here? All in a span of like a couple innings that happened too. But one thing that I also want to highlight is, even though we've sat here and said that we've said that the pitching has been much better, is that Nola has not been much better.
No.
I misworded that at first.
The whole pitching staff is doing good
Nola.
except for Nola. Yeah.
Literally everyone except for Nola.
Yeah, Nola's just not good, and
even Painter went into the 6th inning last night and got his first quality start of his career. Like,
I mean, he's had a solid last 2 outings.
Yeah.
For Painter.
Yeah.
Nola he's just not good anymore.
No. And Nola has failed to even go into the 6th inning to make it out of the 5th inning in 4 out of his 9 starts. That's a 45% of starts. He's not making it.
He's making $24 million a season.
And we got him for another 6 more years.
Five more seasons at $24 million.
Yep.
And if you can't even get a pitcher out of the 5th inning.
So I do not think Aaron Nola is going to survive the contract.
No, he's not going to survive this contract.
He's not going to be here for all 5 years. Like, he's trending in the Taiwan Walker direction at this point, where if he has another like 3 or 4 starts where he's not able to get out of the 5th inning, like, you got to do something at that point. Like,
yeah, there's no way.
You basically just replaced Taiwan Walker for Aaron Nola, and they're the same freaking pitcher.
Do you have to like put him on the Phantom IL?
I mean, maybe, but do you really think he's going to get any better when he comes back?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I don't know.
Like, I don't think that a Phantom IL stint is going to really do anything for him.
Me neither.
Like, I haven't heard anything about him aggravating anything or being injured or anything like that. So I don't think that a Phantom IL stint is really going to do much other than just give him a couple of weeks or a month to like sit down and think about how bad he's been.
Yeah, but you really can't. I mean, once you go bad, you ain't going back.
Yeah, especially like
at his age too. It's not like he's a up and coming rookie like Painter, where a couple bad starts aren't going to be the defining point of his career. And if he has a really good season, then we're going to look at these starts as like a learning curve. But for Nola, it's not like he's 34 or whatever.
Yeah, he's 34 years old already.
And fastball's barely hitting 90 miles an hour. Like, dude.
Imagine what he's going to look like at 39. The last year of that contract.
Fastball topping a good 82.
Looking like Jamie Moyer out there.
Jamie Moyer.
Throwing a nice 76-mile-an-hour changeup.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, honestly, it might be better for Aaron Nola at this point to maybe... I feel like when you are a pitcher that throws in the low 90s, it's almost beneficial if you get slower as opposed to getting faster.
You could. But, like, you have to fool the hitter into thinking a slow pitch is coming. Because, like, if you see... you could work it out something different. Like if Aaron Nola throws, 92 or whatever and makes it through like 5 innings, and then you bring in Jose Alvarado who throws 99 miles an hour. Like it's possible that you could be fooling the hitters, but even still, like.
Nah, I want to see Nola's fastball velocity dip to like 86, when you have 85.
You have a fastball that has like a little bit of movement on it, and it just doesn't really click anymore as it used to be. We're looking at a rough couple of years at Aaron Nola.
Yeah,
and this money.
And unless he is able to kind of like reinvent himself as a pitcher,
which is hard to do at his age.
As much as I want to sit here and say he still has a good curveball, like his knuckle curve is still good, and his changeup is still good. Only problem is those two balls only really work when you have a good fastball for them to play off of. And when you don't have a good fastball for them to play off of.
When his fastball has little to no movement at all, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah. So that's the one thing that troubles me, is the fact that his two best pitches are two pitches that work coming off of a fastball, and his fastball isn't very good.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really hard to reinvent yourself as a pitcher unless you get really good at pitches that you don't know how to throw right now.
And that's not happening right now for Mr. Nola.
Which I think is why he is definitely not having as good of a season.
And he didn't have a good of a season last year.
No. And
so it's like
he's going to have to stop throwing the four-seam fastball, essentially. And he's going to have to replace the four-seam with either the sinker, which he throws a lot more now than he used to, or a cutter, in which case...
Going to have to go back to the sinker.
So it's not going to be easy for Aaron Nola.
No.
Like, I can't sit here and be like, oh, yeah, he's mechanically doing this, and then, like, it's just a quick, simple fix. He's got to get his mechanics in order. Like, no, it doesn't look like that. It looks like his pitches have lost life.
That's not the easy thing to do. Like,
no, it's not something with Luzardo where you could be like, oh, he's opening up his front hip too early, which is why everything's going off the plate, and he's having
it's
really bad
Nola
control
when
issues.
you see a fastball coming in that's
92 and flat.
Yeah, that like a wiffle ball player. Oh, here's the fastball. Ding.
I mean, wiffle balls move more than
That wiffle ball's got crazy movement. I ain't going to even lie.
But yeah, other than Aaron Nola, everyone else has been pretty damn good.
Maybe
on
except
this rotation.
Besides for Bad Keller in the bullpen.
Yeah, but I mean,
his,
Alvarado has had a couple.
But
of really nice,
that's his new name now, Bad Keller.
Bad Keller.
Yeah.
Bad Brad.
Bad Brad. Yeah,
But,
wrong Brad.
Even Alvarado has had a couple of really solid outings, I want to say.
Alvarado, yeah.
Times, which he was having a rough start to the season.
I mean, Durant's been good coming back from the injured list.
Yep.
Who else are we thinking about?
Bolin has been serviceable. Even though,
like the guys like Tim Mesa and him have been serviceable.
Right. And
Sugar.
Yeah, Sugar actually has been pretty decent.
Yeah, he's
not
been
gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
Banks has started to improve a little bit because he had a couple of really rough outings, but last time he came in, had a clean inning. I think he gave up a hit, but he didn't give up any runs.
He didn't give up any runs.
So, I mean, everyone basically on this entire team is turning it around.
Yeah, and as long as they keep the ball rolling, they'll put themselves back in the conversation for the wild card.
Yeah.
Because the division is over, but...
Yeah, I don't think they're going to catch the Braves unless there's some type of catastrophic collapse.
Yeah, unless they unless the Braves contribute to like a horrible downfall. That ain't happening, but right now they're 3 games out of the wild card, and I mean, there's plenty of time left in the season, but even still,
I mean, we're not even at Memorial Day yet.
Yeah, but even still, if they're fighting for the wild card on the last day or whatever, it's going to be like, well, that beginning 30 games, really is like the backbone.
And we saw it with the Braves last year.
Saw it with the Braves, like
that really, really bad start. It's hard to pick yourself back up off the mat, but let's give credit to the Phillies because they have.
Yeah.
They've gotten back over 500. If they win again tonight, they'll be 2 games over 500.
And they already are 2 games over 500.
Or 3 games over 500. And I think that they have won, they've gone like 16-4 in their last 20?
Yeah. So since the firing, they were 9-19, and they've gone 16-4. So you're absolutely right.
Yeah, they've gone 16-4 in their last 20 games. So it doesn't matter how bad of a start you get off to, unless it's like 1-20. Like, if you're going to be winning at a 16-4 clip, you're going to make your way into the postseason.
Yeah.
Like, it's just mathematically impossible not to at that point.
Yeah, unless every other team continues to win, but even
at
still.
At that same clip. Yeah, unless every other team continues to go 16-4.
It's really hard to maintain that for a full season.
Yeah, and I'm impressed that the Phillies have been able to maintain this level of play for as long as they have so far, honestly. You don't really have 20-game stretches where you play this well all 20 games.
Yeah. So what they're going to have to do is they're just going to have to keep the ball rolling and hopefully make themselves into a position by the All-Star break where they're in a playoff spot and they're, still telling the league, like, all right, we're still ready to compete. I mean, this ain't over yet.
Yeah. And one thing as well I want to point out, Nick Castellanos, our friend out there in San Diego, is still being paid by the Phillies.
Mm-hmm.
Yet he's hitting 198, 3 home runs, 18 RBIs, and a 581 OPS plus horrible defense
Of course.
over there in San Diego. So even if Garcia is not tearing the cover off the ball, he is still, without a doubt, a huge upgrade.
And even Castellanos being reduced to like a bench role now. Like he only plays, I believe, like DH and like first base. He's played some right field. Most recently, there was actually one clip I saw of him on. What was it? It was like it was Instagram or something where the dude was going out to dive for a ball in right field, and usually who plays in right field is Fernando Tatis Jr.
Yep.
And he went and dove for the ball. It got past him all the way, and then the Cardinals ended up winning the game. The Padres lost, and you can blame Nick Castellanos for that. So,
I mean, you can blame Nick Castellanos for a lot of things probably right now.
You can,
and
yeah.
They would probably stick.
Yep.
Even if it wasn't true, it would still stick.
It would, yep.
So, Castellanos, very glad that he is gone. He is not here anymore. And even if Adolis Garcia is not playing fantastic, he still
provides, better defense than Nick Castellanos.
And he's making half the amount of money that Castellanos is. So, still would take that any day of the week.
Oh, yeah, 100%. But that's about it for me. Anything from you, or?
Just, I don't know if the Phillies are going to win tonight.
They are facing Chase Burns, who has been one of the really good for the Reds.
He's been really
He has been really good
for the Reds. He's 5-1 with a 1.87 ERA. His strikeouts per inning, I think, is at like 9.5. Yeah, he's been
really good for the Reds.
Really
so it'll be a good challenge tonight for the Phils.
And he's gone into the 7th or the 8th in all of his past 3 starts. So he's pitching well.
Nola takes some notes.
He's pitching well, and he's going up against Luzardo tonight, which we know it's hit or miss with Luzardo.
It's hit or miss with Luzardo, but he's looked good in the past couple of starts, so should be a good pitching matchup. Ball will definitely be flying tonight because it's 1,000,000 degrees outside.
But I definitely would hedge your bets tonight. If you're betting on the Phillies, I might hedge that bet because
bet on the strikeouts.
Yeah, that would be a fantastic way to do it. Bet on the strikeouts.
Bet on the strikeouts.
I think Chase Burns' last 3 games, he's got 9 strikeouts in each 3. So
he's averaging a strikeout per inning.
And this Phillies team loves to strike out.
Not sponsored by anything, but any betting company wants to come sponsor us. Just give us a phone call.
You want to shout out FanDuel or maybe
we can't say FanDuel, not sponsored by them, but
I don't know. Maybe a different colored blue and white site.
Yeah, who knows? So that'll do it for this week, guys. Thank you for tuning in.
We'll see you next week.
Yeah, see you next week.